getting into it, y'all. We gotta get into this. I told y'all, we gotta get into this.
I just live
LA, I just booked a flight. NYLA. You already know the vibe. You already know the vibe. Welcome to Uda on Go, which is the dopest NY to LA podcast. This is what this is right here. This is the Go Network. I am Uda on Go. Welcome. You already know the people in the chat. That's the Go Gang. Be a part of the Go Gang. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Be a part of the Go Gang. Make sure you're leaning on that like button. It costs you nothing to push that button. Feel me? And make sure you're notified when we drop new content. We got Big Meech Tammy Cowins. Did they use, because we know Tammy did, so we just trying to figure out if Meech had involvement, right? So did they use Keith Cromer, Agent Keith Cromer, a.k.a. the person that Tammy was giving Chrome Dome, allegedly, to set up Cuffy Gatlins and Suarez? Well, we're going to go into a paperwork reading, okay? Because I went into the 32 pages already. I want y'all to drop a like on your way in. I went into the OIG investigation as well, which no one online has done. Yes, I have done that. Now I'm going into this. You see this? This is called Bertha, okay? Bertha, okay? Don't think I'm reading all this today. You're crazy. The hell? Salute to y'all, though. Big up yourself, though. Hope y'all having a blessed day. Some of y'all now waking up grand rising, and you don't know why you still waking up right now. So salute to you if you still got that time to be getting up right now. So salute to y'all. Okay, cool. So we gonna take this paperwork past the first preliminary hearings parts where they going back and forth with the lawyers and they trying to iron out the particulars. We could do that on another day. That's right there. That's it like this too. Like 50 pages. This right here is 220 in my hand. That altogether is 271 pages. Okay? This is 220 in my hand. So we're going to read it like this. We're going to start like this. I want y'all to drop likes from the very beginning, y'all. I'm about to read. Some people can't read on internet. Some people can't read, and you like them. So I want y'all to drop a like in this chat, please, so that these videos get out and the message gets out. It's not because you like me I want you to like. I want you to like it because this is the program that we're in, okay? And you're going to help me to win like I'm going to help you to win, okay? Cool. This is what we're going to do. Salute. I appreciate you. That's what we're trying to do, y'all. Let's work together. Help me help you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying the same thing. You help me. Feel me? Salute. Look, boom. So we're going to start it right to the crux. We're going to get right to Tammy. To get the fluff. I could have gave you all of that and said, see you tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? Let's get to the fluff. The following proceedings were closed to the public and are sealed. The court. Now, do we only have the people who are approved to be in the courtroom? In the courtroom? Okay, Mr. Hoag, one of the defense attorneys. Why don't you call your next witness, Mr. Hoag? I thought there was going to be some preliminary thing with respect to the court doing an examination of her on right to... I thought you said that. Yes. Where is she? This is what the court says. Yes, where is she? Mr. Hoag says, she's been secreted. Can you get the CS1? That's Tammy. The court says, thank you for reminding me. Please come forward and be sworn. Right here, and this portion of the proceedings is closed to the public. And this record is sealed until ordered otherwise. Okay, that's why I started you right to here with the thing sealed. So you could get right to what you need. Forget the fluff. Let me show you what the fluff look like. So show you I don't play games with y'all. Look, this was fluff. I could have did this to y'all, bro. I could have did this. I could have did this. I'm not doing this to you. I love y'all. Drop a like, y'all, and help the message get out. Not for me, for the message. Please, drop a like. Because I'm not going to be reading y'all ain't liking. I'll come do this tomorrow. I got things to do, too. Facts. And that's a fact. On my mother. Okay. So I'm watching how y'all liking in here. This will be cut short if you're not. Straight up. I'll do this later on tonight. I can do this tonight. This is daytime. I have a life. Drop a like. Cool. Thank you for reminding me. Please come forward and be sworn. Right here is the portion where it has been sealed. Okay? From this point forward, we're going to refer to the witness as CS1. Y'all drop likes on the way in. I'm reading this for y'all. I went and got this for y'all. Drop the like. Thank you. All right. Mr. Hoag. Yes, ma'am. The court. But for my purposes, I am going to ask you a few questions. Tammy, the witness. She's the witness. Tammy, CS1. So I'm just going to say Tammy when it's the witness, okay? Okay. The court. Beginning with your name. So he's the lawyer that's in there. He's the court speaking, right? So I'll just say him, and I'll just say Tammy. So him, Tammy, him, Tammy. That's how I'm going to do it. So we cut through the fluff. Cool? Cool. But for my purposes, I'm going to ask you a few questions, Tammy. Okay. Beginning with your name. Tammy. It's Tammy Cowins. But in this, it says CS1. And Tammy, have you been appointed counsel in this case? Yes, ma'am. And who have you been appointed to represent you? Mr. I can't pronounce his name. Okay, Mr. Newton. Thank you. Have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Newton? Yes, I have. And do you feel comfortable that he's answered any questions that you have testifying to this matter? Yes, he's done a phenomenal job. Okay, and are you prepared to give your testimony in this case today? Yes, I am. And have you reached any formal agreement with the United States government regarding any immunity in this case before you testify? No. Okay, so in relationship to your testimony, no. Okay. So, counsel, does anyone have any questions along this vein for the witnesses and the witness? Not from the government, at least, no. Defense counsel. Your Honor, I just wanted to say I'm having trouble hearing the witness. Okay. Please keep your voice up, Tammy. I sure will. The court. We might have to reboot your audio. We think that it went down, but the court reporter is able to get everything anyway, so you ain't got to really worry. Ms. Trogg. Your Honor, on behalf of all the defendants, we have no further inquiry. Thank you, Ms. Trogg. Judge, may I approach the witness and just to give her a glass of water? Would you want to give her a glass of water? Or you heard about that goat throat she had going on. What did you hear about? Allegedly, Tammy, don't come suing me, but you could call me. You could call me because I heard about that goat throat. Yeah. So are you ready to proceed with the examination? He says, okay, yes, I am, Your Honor. CS1. So I got through the fluff. I bust my one joke. Y'all leave me alone. Let me bust my one joke, man. Damn, I can't bust a joke. Y'all people so serious, man. Relax. It's daytime. I'm laughing. Serious case. Chill out. You act like I'm on trial. I'm not. Relax. Boom. Having been first duly sworn and was examined and testified as follows. And now this is where the direct examination comes in, okay? So I'm going to be serious. I was just joking a little bit. I'm going to be serious, okay? Now I'm going to refer to you as CS1, okay? Okay. Is that fair to say? Okay. And I'll try to refer in any way that often, okay? Okay. But let me start with in 2000, approximately 2009, did you become a DEA confidential informant? Yes, sir. Okay, and who was it that contacted you prior to becoming a confidential informant? Jack Harvey. Oh, okay, and Mr. Harvey is employed where? At the time, he was DEA agent for Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. And you were signed up at that point, I believe in April 2009 or somewhere in that neighborhood? Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yes, sir. Okay. And during the course of your assignment, all right, okay, who was your handler? Who was your controlling agent, as we would like to call it? At that time, yes, Jack Harvey was actually. And what was the case that you were involved in? Terry Bernard White. And how long was it that you worked with Mr. Harvey on that case with Terry Bernard White? Well, it was about over a year. Okay, and without going into specifics, let me ask you this. At the time you signed up or any time thereafter, do you have a criminal record or have you been arrested or charged or convicted of any crimes? No, sir. Okay, and have you ever been hospitalized or used any drugs in any way, shape, fashion, or form? Hospitalized surgery-wise, but not medically, like for surgery. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like drugs. Oh no, I never tried drugs. Okay, that's all we're talking about. Okay, so when you signed up with Mr. Harvey, was there any conversation with respect to how you would be compensated? No. Did you ask for any compensation in exchange for your work with Mr. Harvey? No, sir. Okay, and throughout the course of Mr. White's case, he pled guilty, right? That is correct. All right. So, and you weren't paid any money during the course of that up until the time he pled guilty? Is that fair to say? That's fair to say. Okay. So, did you ever ask for any money? Y'all get the likes up for me. Shout out King and NJ. Y'all get the likes up. Did you ever ask for any bread? Nah, I didn't. Did you ask for any compensation in any shape, fashion, or form? No, I did not. Okay, so at some point in time, did Mr. Harvey inform you that he was going to put you up for some award? Because we know that she set up Terry White, which was her ex-lover, because supposedly she caught him in a bed with another woman. Sick the feds on him. Built the whole case, did 95% of the work. But she never had to testify. So the only time she testified was in Cuffy case. So that means also Terry White never even got a chance to confront his accuser, which was the so-called person that was the main witness in his case, like Cuffy's case, but was a whole liar and was a scorned lover. And she got $55,000 for getting a nigga locked up. That's what the feds paid her. And she wasn't paid informant. So that's what they're talking about here. So Harvey just pushed her through for an award, even though she wasn't paid. Only when Cromer came in is when she became paid. Okay, cool. Just updating you. Boom. So look. So prior to, right before he was retiring, leaving the company, acknowledged, right? Like 2011. So if August 1st or July 31st of 2011, is that the day he retired, or would it be in like that time frame? I think like a couple weeks prior to that. Okay. And did he tell you where he's going to be? Nah, he didn't. Okay, he just indicated what then? He just said that I would put you in for award because you basically made the case. Okay. So did there come a time when you went from working for Mr. Harvey to working for someone else? Yes, sir, I did. And when was that time period? After I received that message from Harvey that he was retiring, then I received a call from Atlanta asking me to stay on board. And who was that phone call from? It was from Keith Cromer, the guy who I was allegedly giving Chrome, Dome 2, Silver Surfer, Neck 2, Pterodactyl, Neckland before time, the long neck. Pause. Immediately. That's just comedy. Leave me alone. Because this is drag. Come on, it's paper. It's meticulous. We have to make fun. We have to laugh. Okay? Come on, bro. Chill out. Boom. And what was Mr. Cromer's position, and who was he with? The DEA of Atlanta at that time? Oh, yeah, he was with the DEA at Atlanta. Same group with Mr. Harvey was in? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, he was in the same group that Mr. Harvey was in. At some point in time, you were introduced to Mr. Cromer then? Yes, I was. And who was it then you were supposed to work with in relation to Mr. Cromer? David, Fred, and several other, I think David, Fred, Tony, Mara, I think. Oh, so you're talking about agents? Yes, agents I'm talking about. In the group? Yes, sir. Agents that were in the group. Okay. And who was your controlling agent at the time? Do you know? David at that point, Fred at one point, and Tony at one point. And I hope y'all all wasn't getting the box, because I heard it was fire, even though Tammy had the box outside all day. You could have walked by and picked it up. Allegedly. Now let me direct your attention to your understanding of how is it that you were to perform your duties, okay? What were you told by either Cromer or any of the agents you were supposed to be doing? Basically that I would set up, that they would set up for me Hispanics. Keep that. That's a key thing that y'all need to remember. Because this is where probably the Mexican connect comes in. But remember, she never locked up the Mexican people. All she ever locked up was black niggas. Yeah, Tammy, you never locked up no Mexican people because you think you're light skinned, and that's why they wanted you to lock up the Spanish people, Tammy. And you know I ain't lying on you. Everything I'm saying out my mouth comes from the truth, comes from the black and white. Besides when I said you were on Meech. Besides that, is allegedly. Everything else. Paperwork, miss. Paperwork. Y'all get the likes up. Cool. Peep it. So she supposed to set up Hispanics, right? That I would either go pick up money or drugs and bring it back or make phone calls. Okay. So, and this was at sometime in where? 2011? That seems to be about right. Okay. So was it immediately after you were involved, blank? I mean that Mr. Harvey retired, or was it at some period of time later? No. The contact was immediately after Mr. Harvey retired. Okay. So then you began what was the promise to you with respect to what your activity was by agents or with Cromer in particular? Well, we met and we discussed that I would stay on board, and I asked what I have to do, and I was just told that I just advised you in regards to Hispanics, and that is when I said okay. And can I get money probably? And he said, if you get something big, you could get money. You'll get a lot of money. And I said, can I get Demetrius Flannery a time cut? Key words here now. See what I'm saying? The Hispanic people, this is key. She says this in the very beginning. And she says this in court, that she's doing this. Even though she tries to change her story later. We'll get into that. Boom. So she wanted to get Demetrius Flannery a time cut, right? Listen what Agent Cromer say. Look. And he said, we can work on that. So he didn't say no. He didn't leave it. He left it open. He said, we can work on that when she asked to get Meech a time cut. Cool. Yes, I did. And it was about perhaps helping him out then, I guess. So what you was trying to help out Meech? Yes. That's Demetrius Flannery, right? For a time reduction, right? Now, she says, for a time reduction. He says, now, in the course of your conversations and your responsibilities, did anybody indicate to you whether you were going to have to testify in any shape, fashion, or form? No. Remember, she done locked up a whole nigga. Her ex-lover sent the nigga up under the river. The nigga got 90 months in prison, plus they took all his shit. And she didn't even have to testify in that. The nigga didn't even get a chance to confront his motherfucking accuser. Facts. Took a breath. Look. Okay. So you were told that you would not have to testify? That is correct in the beginning. They would go back to Mexico once they do the drug bust with the Hispanics. So they saying, look, we're going to set you up with Hispanics because she looked kind of light, maybe look like a Hispanic a little bit. So they like, yo, bro, we're going to link you up with the Hispanic people, but you ain't got to worry about your safety because as soon as we book them, we're going to deport their ass. So you ain't even got to worry about that. We're going to dip them. Feel me? Make her feel more comfortable. But what Spanish people she ended up locking up? I'll wait. Okay, cool. So she says, okay, cool, right? All right. Now, I take it then that Mr. Cromer, in the course of dealing with you, knew about Mr. Flannery? Yes, he knew about Demetrius Flannery and our relationships as friends. Yes, he did know. And let's just get into that. What was your relationship with Mr. Flannery? Let's just figure that out real quick. He was my friend. Okay. Or is my friend, better yet. Because was is like past tense, maybe like death, right? So she said, so she corrects herself and said, or is my friend. He said, okay. Was there any business relationship there between you and Demetrius Flannery? Yes, sir. Do you have any business relationship with him? She said, yes, I have his life rights with creative control and his power of attorney. And how long ago was it that you became acquainted with Mr. Flannery? I would say about 2000 because he got incarcerated about 2005. So in 2003, 2022 is when I met him. Okay, cool. So at that time, we're talking about 2011, 2012. You had known him for about 8-9 years by now, right? Yes, sir. And you had then, I guess, business dealings with him for many years. And you had visited him. You visited him, right? Fair to say? Yes, for many years I visited him. Okay, cool. So, okay, and you communicated that to Mr. Cromer. Is that correct? Yes, sir, I did. Okay, now let's talk about someone else. Okay, let's talk about Mr. Cromer, okay? This one, the thing get juicy, y'all. Get your popcorn, your coffee, and yeah, yeah. Get your little shorty, because it's freaky time. Bumping and grinding. Yeah, her and Cromer. Yeah. So, boom. So she says, at some point in time after 2011, which is when you became a CS or continued as a CS, because remember, she was working with Harvey first and Harvey handed her to Cromer. So she was unpaid before, but when she started working with Cromer, she became a paid informant now. Even though Harvey paid her, just looked out for her, gave her $55,000. Now we're going to get into the money she was getting with Cromer, all kind of $80,000, $100,000. Ain't do nothing. Cool. Boom. Yes, I did. And what was the nature of your relationship with Mr. Cromer? It started out as friends, and then we became close friends, and then we became sexually engaged. Okay, partners? Yeah, partners. So over a period of how many months, or a year, or what would you say? What are we talking about here? I would say maybe 6. The sexual intercourse didn't start until maybe like after 5 months or something, I would think. Something like that. Okay, so that would have been maybe sometime in 2011 then. That could be right. Yes, that could be. And would it be fair to say that he was with you on a constant basis? Because I heard he was around there about 3, 4, 5 times a week. And you know why he was over there? Because if a woman never gave you to go through, you know you was knocking at her door daytime like this, calling her phone, asking why she ain't answer. But she answered the phone and said, nigga, I'm at work. What are you doing? Stop messing with my neighbors. And you said, damn, girl, I forgot. But that's what the throat gut did to you. You remember. Slow down. Slow down. Boom. So how often was he with you then? Look what I said. Look. 5 to 6 days a week? Bruh. 5 to 6 days a week? Not even with your side thing getting 5 to 6 days a week, homie. What she got going? What she happened that you over there 6 days a week, homie? Ain't enough days in a week. You know he got a family too? Do you know he was bringing this woman around his family, taking trips with this woman and ain't know she was a confidential informant? So why is this man around this woman 6 times per week? Girl, if I'm around you 6 times per week, we might as well get married. The hell we together 6 times per week. That means I want to leave it. Keep it real. Anyway, let's move forward. I heard Tammy. We heard. Boom. 5 to 6 days per week. Question, 5, 6 days a week? That's the man. Days a week. Out of 7, yeah, she bugging, yeah. Out of 7, I would say 5, 6, yeah. That nigga was on this bumper. He was on my back. Basically, I'm pulling that part in, Tammy, so don't worry about that. I'll put that back. Okay, now, did there come a time when you had conversations with another individual? Let's talk about Dion Gatling then. Cuffy. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, and how did you know Mr. Gatling? I knew him through conversations originally through him knowing Demetrius Flannery as his good friend. Okay, speak up a little bit, miss, because we can't hear you. I knew Demetrius Flannery as his good friend. They were good friends, I guess, back in the days. So Demetrius Flannery was friends with Mr. Gatling? From my understanding, both parties, yeah. Was there a nickname that you knew Mr. Gatling to go by? Yeah, Cuff. We call him Cuffy, but they call him Cuff. Cuff, okay. And what kind of relationship did you have with Cuff, that is? How did you know him? Well, he called me one day years ago, and I just said that he called me one day years ago and just said that he was Demetrius's friend, as many people do, and that's how and asked me how his brother was doing, and, you know, to tell him to send him some love, and et cetera, just things of that nature, just a general conversation, which he said many people have done that when she was connected with Meech. Other people besides her, even Suarez did the same thing, but other people besides them two also did the same thing, because you had to go through her to get to Meech, even family and friends. She was the power of attorney, hold the rights. Okay. So they were basically just social contacts that you had with? That is correct. Were there any times when you, say, emailed him or texted him or something? Yes. So he knew in conversations with myself that we were working on St. Louis. We were working on Louis Burrell, which is MC Hammer's brother. I gotta take 2 bullets. MC Hammer's brother is Louis Burrell. He deal with Hollywood, and he's a shaker out there with the Hollywood and the movie thing. So this is where Cuffy steps in to help Tammy do the life rights. She don't know Louis Burrell. Obviously, Cuffy's a big dog. He is like Meech. When Meech met him, he was Meech. What we know Meech as? He was that when Meech met him. Cuffy's the big man, bro. Okay? He was a bigger nigga than Meech when Meech met him. Real talk. He put the first $1 million in Meech's hand. Like this. And Meech cried tears in front of him. Cried. That's what he said. Cried tears in front of me. Straight up. Said, the niggas is holding me back, dog. Thank you. That's what the nigga told Meech. That's what Meech told the nigga. Boom. So look. We were working on Louis Burrell, and other gentlemen was trying to get me to sign my life rights for Demetrius over to them so they could try to shop a film deal. So they wanted to take the life right that she had for him to sign to them. I think 50 just tried to do that. 50 possibly just bought the rights from her. You got to stay tuned in with that, because if he did that, it's over for you again, Meech. He's about to kick your son out, recast it. It's about to be crazy. Anyway, so they could do the film deal. And I wouldn't do that. She wouldn't sell it. And I was having correspondence with Dion Gatlin in regards to that, because he was trying to come up with something, because he was trying to just buy it from her to do the movie instead of her having a deal with the rights. They just wanted to buy the rights all out from her and take the life story from her and go do their own project. But she didn't want to do that. So Cuffy was stepping in to help her with that, to say, nah, we ain't gonna give it up like that. We're gonna try to figure it out and see what we could do. So the initial contact with Mr. Gatling is more business relationship and nothing else at that point. Is it fair to say? Yes, that's fair to say. Okay, so how about an individual by the name of Fidel Suarez? How did you make an acquaintance with Mr. Suarez? I made up blank. He called and, again, wanted to know how Demetrius Flannery was doing. Tell him he sends his love. And did I have a mailing address for him? And I provided that. And that was about it in the initial call. Okay. And you had talked to Mr. Flannery, Demetrius Flannery, about Mr. Suarez at some point? At some point in time during the phone call, I'd usually give him a rundown on who calls and showing their support. And did he indicate to you that he knew Mr. Suarez in any capacity? He did. He just said that he did time with him in the county jail and that he'd actually beat his case. And that was about it. And when you say county jail, do you know where that county jail was? I don't know, right? I don't recall a visit before, but it's in Michigan, because he was in the Michigan County Jail. That's a fact. Y'all get the likes up for me. Come on, y'all. Some of your content creators can't read. Y'all get the likes up for a nigga knowing how to read. I would have been in slavery, kicked into the fields if I know how to read like this. Do you know that? Have some compassion for the people that died for reading as a slave. I'm reading right now, y'all. Drop a like. Right, boom. I don't recall a visit before, whatever, but I think it's in Michigan. Is it St. Clair County Jail? I think it is. I think it is St. Clair County Jail, you know. Okay. Now, did there at some time come a time in your relationship with Mr. Gatlin and Suarez where their conversation turned to narcotics or drugs? Yes, sir. Okay, approximately what time was that? I would say about 2000, mid-year 2012. Okay, all right. And in 2012, how did that conversation begin? What was it that precipitated that in the conversation that it went to that point? Well, the initiation was Fidel Suarez. He called and made some conversation about he needed to get rid of some type of pills. And did I know somebody that wanted to buy them? I was in a call with Keith Cromer at the time and on speaker in my car. And Keith said, tell him yes. And shortly thereafter, I received a call from an agent in California. And that's how it started all transpiring from Fidel. Okay. Was there ever a time when you were asked to give a phone number to Fidel at any point in time? Yes, I was actually. What were the circumstances of that information? Well, a couple of times when I was asked to give blank, Fidel called and asked for Cuff's phone number. He was calling asking for Cuff's phone number. They showed that in the paperwork too. Did he say who? He said, Buddy told me to get Cuff's number. Buddy. Meech. Buddy told him to get Cuff's number. And I gave him Cuff's phone number because Buddy told him to give him Cuff's number, right? Who is Buddy, for the record? I'm assuming he's speaking of Demetrius Flannery. So you've known him by that name, correct? Well, when he says buddy, as he calls, yes, sir. And did you do that? Yes, I did. Okay. Now, during this period of time, you just indicated, okay, that Mr. Cromer was with you. Mr. Cromer, did he overhear any of the conversations that you had with either Mr. Gatlin or Mr. Suarez at that time? Yes, Mr. Suarez at that time, as well as Mr. Gatlin later on. Focusing on July 12th, did you have a conversation with Mr. Suarez related to a trip that you may take? Yes. So, okay. And what were the circumstances of that trip? Fidel asked me if I would come to St. Louis because he was going to be traveling to St. Louis. And I told him no. Okay. Did he tell you why he wanted you in St. Louis at all? Now, he didn't specify, but he wanted me in St. Louis. No, I didn't know why he wanted me there, though. And did he contact you later on? Yes, he did. Okay, and what time was that approximately? When did he hit you? Well, he contacted me when he first was in St. Louis, and that he had a truck up there, and that from my understanding, if I recollect, he didn't have the phone number, and he had this effing truck up there with the stuff for Cuff, and he didn't show up. And that would be August the 5th of 2012, right? Yeah, around that time, about July, August. All right. What were the circumstances leading up? Where were you when you received the call, and who, if anyone, else was there? So when I received the call, it was on a Sunday. I was at home cooking spaghetti, and Keith Cromer was at my house at the time. I wonder why. Slurping burp sounds. And when they called, Fidel was upset because he said that he had the effing truck up there. I can't remember, honestly, if it was the heroin or it was a cocaine truck. And I said, what's going on? I got all this shipment up here, and this dude is playing games. And he was using a lot of profanity. And he said, see if you can get in contact with him. And I had an alternate number for Cuff, and I reached out to Cuff and asked Cuff. And he said he hasn't tried to call me, and said he's calling you at this number. And I don't recall the number, but I know it was 314, if I'm not mistaken. And I ended up getting them on the phone together. So subsequently made contact with both and exchanged the other numbers that they might have had. Okay. That's correct. That's correct. All right. So now, and subsequently they contacted each other, right? That is correct as well. All right. Now on that same Sunday, that was Sunday, right? Correct. That was Sunday. Did Agent Cromer, was he present during those conversations? Yes, he was. And was he listening in on those conversations? Yes, he was. Okay. And at that time, the time that he was listening in, could he hear what both parties were saying? Correct? He could hear? Yes, I had them on speakerphone. Okay. Now, subsequent to that, did you have contact then with St. Louis DEA? Keith Cromer reached out to the St. Louis DEA, and I got on the phone and I spoke to an agent, but I don't know who it was. Okay. But the substance of your conversations regarding the dope deal and the truck and that, okay, did you relay that to St. Louis DEA? Yes, I did. To the agents involved? To the agents I spoke to on the phone, at least. Okay. And Mr. Cromer had already contacted them. Is that correct? That's correct. Okay, cool. And that's how they got in touch with you? The agents, whatever? Yeah, that is correct. So it would be fair to say that you had 2, 3, 5. How many conversations with the St. Louis agents do you have about this in August? On August 5th, around that time, in the conversations. I had one in regards to the overall August 5th conversation. But I probably had a total of 3 conversations, if my memory is serving me correct, with the St. Louis DEA department. And they were asking you questions about your relationship with the individuals. Is that fair to say? Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so now let me ask you, when you talked to Mr. Suarez, when you talked to the agents and Mr. Cromer, did you indicate to them at any point in time that you had obtained a photograph of Mr. Suarez? Because you know that's one of the first things he did. He sent a photograph of himself, and he was calling, talking about pills with a square from Delaware. She never even been charged with anything. Yes, I did. Okay, so how did that happen? I showed it to, what were the circumstances? I showed it to Keith. As a matter of fact, it was Keith Cromer. And you indicated earlier that it was a result of exchanging what? On Facebook or what? Some type of social media or something? No, the picture was sent from Fidel sending me a picture to my phone, a picture of him so that I could put him in my contact list. Okay, did you ask him for a picture? I asked him for a picture. I asked Fidel for a picture. Yes. Okay, let me hand to you what is marked as government exhibit da 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 da. One of the defense attorney, may I approach? Court, you may. Blank, blank, blank. That's him? Okay, that's him. That's him. And that's the picture. Okay. Now, did you ever meet Mr. Suarez in person? No, I never met him. Now, how about Mr. Gatlin, okay? When these conversations were going on this was August 5th, and prior to that, right? Had you ever met Mr. Gatlin? No, I had not met Mr. Gatlin at that time as well, no. Okay, did there ever come a time when you met Mr. Gatlin? Yes. He called and said that he was coming to Atlanta and he wanted to take me to dinner. Cuffy, did you have sex with Tammy too? Why don't you tell us this? Because if I speak to you, nigga, I'm asking you, did you hit the skins, homie? Did you knock the boots, homeboy? Did you knock the boots? Because if she knocked the boots and she set your ass up, you played yourself, homeboy. You played yourself. Anyway, boom. Okay, and when did that dinner occur? I don't really know. I don't remember. Okay, so after the August 5th conversation, yes, and the truck, yes, did you ever talk to either Mr. Suarez or Mr. Gatlins about the delivery on August 5th, 2012? I had a conversation with Fidel Suarez. He called upset, furious, because this was after the fact of August 5th. He was mad because he said that Cuff stiffed him and didn't pay him, because Cuff supposed to stiff him on some bread, and didn't pay him all the money for the drugs. I don't remember if it was the heroin or the cocaine. I honestly don't remember, but he didn't pay him all the money for the blocks, whichever it was. All right, but the photograph is, I'd say, a fair, accurate description of Mrs. Suarez that he gave you, yes. So what did you do with that? It was in my phone. But, I mean, did you provide it to anybody? Oh, yes, I gave it to Keith Cromer, yes. And subsequently, I may have even sent it over to someone blank. Excuse me. I sent it to Keith Cromer as well as to confirm with Los Angeles. Okay. That was a separate thing? Oh, yeah, that was a separate thing. Okay. So, and you seen that from the DEA in St. Louis, correct? Yes. So now, let's go to November of 2012. Did there come a point when you were working with Mr. Cromer where it was decided that you would no longer be talking with Mr. Gatlin? That is correct. Okay, and how did that come about? Because I was told, because I told him I didn't want to deal with Dion. Okay, and when you told him that, what did he do? Then he said, well, that's fine. I'll talk to him and let him know. Wait a minute. He said, well, that's fine. I'll let him talk to CS2. I'll let him talk to CS2. Confidential source 2. She's 1. 2's 2. Meech. Listen, bro. So listen, CS2. Okay, CS2. Is that fair to say? From my understanding, that's CS2. Let's refer to her as CS2 from now on. I'm sorry. No, that's not. I didn't know. Okay. We want to keep her out of it also. In addition to you, we want to keep her out of it also. Okay. I apologize. Maybe who's this person? CS2. I'd ask that for the record be stricken of that name, whatever name that they said at the time. Yes, we will refer to her as CS2. Okay. Now that the introduction took place in November of 2012, is that fair to say? That's fair to say. Okay. How did it go? What did you do? And what did CS2 do when whoever showed up? Well, Dion asked me Did I know anybody prior to getting the meeting? He asked me if I knew anybody that could get some work from. Basically, they could front him some work, some drug transaction. And I said, well, I don't really know about anybody, but I'll think about it and I'll let you know. And we had a further blank. Keith said, tell him you know somebody. Tell Cuff you know someone, right? Because I told him everybody I knew was locked up. I think is the wording that I use. And then Keith said, tell him you know a lady. And that's what I did, which was CS2. So at that point in time, you were out of the investigation with respect to Mr. Gatlin. Is that fair to say? Other than us meeting for dinner, that was fair to say. Okay, there was some contact, but it had nothing to do with any drug transactions. Is that fair to say? Right. On the other night, us four met at a varsity and a little restaurant, and we went to and we ate some food and stuff. Okay, do you see Mr. Gatlin in the courtroom today? To be quite honest, I don't. Well, you want to stand up and take a look? I think that's him on the end. Here? No, him. I'm sorry. I've only seen him twice. Okay, that's fine. I apologize. Now let's go to the after you were out of it, okay? That is, right? Out of having anything to do with Mr. Gatlin, there came a time when Mr. Gatlin was indicted. Did you become aware of that? Yes. Okay, and do you remember exactly when that was approximately? I don't remember approximately. Does April or May of 2014 sound about correct? I don't remember. That may be or could be correct, but I don't remember. Okay, that's fine. All right. Now, your relationship with Mr. Cromer, okay. You indicated it was romantic at some time. Did it deteriorate or change at some point, would you say? Yeah, that's correct. Now, during the period of that time that you were working, okay, what things were you doing as a cooperator and an informant? They would tell me to meet them and pick up money or go pick up drugs from a certain location. And then I would show up and they would say, okay, we want you to go pick up blank. And one example was go pick up $270,000 and then we're going to bring them back the drugs. Most cases, I always meet with all of the agents, or at least 3 or 4 of them, when it was something of that nature. And every time I'd go, I'd end up not going to pick up the drugs or not even picking up the money. So she never even did it. She just would go and never had to do it. At any rate, were you assigned certain things to do? Is that correct? Correct. That is correct. Among them, were there phone calls? Oh, yes, sir. There was phone calls too. Yes, sir. You were asked to make phone calls? Yes, sir. Now, Mr. Cromer, okay, did he ever give you a phone number and asked you to give it to another agent? Yes, sir. He was at the time at my house one morning and on his way to his meeting. Oh, was at her crib. I'm sorry, I can't hear, Your Honor. I can't hear. I'm sorry. Can you speak up, please? Okay. He was at my house one morning on his way back to work for a meeting. He has meetings once a week, and he had said, hey, take this number. It was on a white piece of paper and call blank. I can't remember if it was David, Fred, or Tony. I don't remember which agent. And he said, give them this information. I said, for what? He said, don't ask me any questions. Look how he's dealing with it strong. Don't worry about it. Just do this for me. I said, okay. And the information related to an individual by the name of blank, Bootsy from Decatur, Georgia. Okay, now, while you were talking with agents in St. Louis about Mr. Gatlin, okay, and Mr. Suarez, did Cromer give you any numbers or tell you to give these numbers to any of the agents there? Could you repeat that? Did Mr. Cromer hand you any notes or whatever and tell you to call St. Louis agents and tell them that this is the number? No. Like Bootsy? No. That's the only time that ever happened in the course of your relationship with him. That's the only time it happened in the course of a relationship. Other than CS2 wanted to give me numbers, which had nothing to do with Cuff, it was on separate instance for Diego. She was to provide me numbers for a gentleman named Diego, but that had nothing to do with Dion Gatlin. But there was none of that with respect to Mr. Gatlin or Mr. Suarez from Agent Cromer. Is that fair to say? No, sir. There's not. Okay. Now we're talking about the relationship. Y'all drop a like. Get the likes up. Let's get it to 100 likes in here, y'all. Just because I could read. They'd have put me on the field picking cotton if they knew I could read back in the days. Drop a like for me, y'all. Drop a like. Between you and Mr. Harvey, Mr. Cromer, okay. Did there come a time when you contacted Mr. Harvey? Yes. Okay, and you remember when that was? I contacted him several times, actually, man, so I don't really remember what time it was exactly. And that would have been over a period of time? Is that fair to say? Yes, sir, it would be. You called him, wanted to talk to him, didn't talk to him? No, I talked to him. Okay. I talked to him, she said. Okay. But was there a time before that when you beat around the bush or didn't really tell him what you wanted to do? Well, you are correct. I had several conversations with him, and he would ask me how I'm doing, and I said fine, and I know how this group thing is doing. He asked how the group was doing and said, they are not you. I remember saying that. And he said, well, what's going on? I said, oh, nothing. Everything is okay. And I was a little reluctant to say anything. Subsequently, though, you sat down with him and talked with him. Or were you on a trip or something? Yes, I did. Or what? No, we were on a phone call. On a phone call? Yes, sir. We was on a phone call. Okay. And you told him what? Just a summary of what you told him would be good for us right now. We don't need the long thing. I'm sorry. Can we please clarify who we're talking about here? Another legal person chimes in to say, objection, clarify. We're talking about Mr. Harvey and the conversation, actually. Her first supervising officer, who was like Russell Crowe in American Gangster chasing down Denzel. That's how he was chasing down Meech. He's a part of the BMF case when BMF got locked, the 30 years. He's a part of that. That guy, the first guy, Harvey. I told him that I thought that there were some wrongdoings within the government. I didn't trust anybody, and I didn't know who to call and tell, and that I was sleeping with Keith Cromer at one point, and how the relationship started, and presented him with the facts within things. He asked me a lot of questions. I answered his questions, and I told him I didn't know what to do, and that I just think there's a lot of legal stuff that's going on, all right? Do you indicate to him that you had received some payments that you didn't know why you received? Yes, I did. I told him I received an $80,000 check, and I didn't know why I received it other than that, and it's for everything that you're doing, is what he told me. He said, it's for what you're doing. That's why you got the money. He said, okay. And that's what Harvey told her. It's for what you're doing. He said, they didn't give you an explanation? And I said, not really. Okay, so you received $80,000 in worth of a check sometime. Do you remember when that was? I don't remember. I don't remember when, but I did receive it, but I don't remember when I received it. Okay. And as far as you knew, you didn't know what it was for? Right. I didn't know what it was for because I told Mr. Harvey I still had the bank account and they could come and get it to return it back to them because I didn't know what it was for. And that's the thing. And that's the one thing he promptly called me because I just thought that it was a little too much. Now, the agents had been paying you periodically on a monthly basis. Is that fair to say? That's fair to say, 100%. What was your understanding about that? That's just for me making phone calls and going back and forth with some Hispanics. Was there any agreement with you or anyone else in the DEA about your rent? Yes, so they said for 12 months we'll pay, and when he said for me to move from my house and for 12 months we'll take care of your rent. Did he tell you why he thought you needed to move? Because Cuff knew. I said, Cuff knew. My address. Damn, Roomba, bro. That should get on my nerve, bro. I swear that Roomba get on my nerve. Right? Because Cuff knew. I said Cuff knew my address from us corresponding years ago in regards to the movie situation. And he said, yeah, because that broke mother effer has put 3 bodies in the trunk. He just killed 3 people and put bodies in the trunk or something like that. And you're understanding with Cromer now, okay? Yes. Did you talk to anyone else about this arrangement? Yeah, well, the Atlanta office knew that I was moving for the apartments. That's what you were told? Yes, that's what I was told. Okay, so it was for your protection against perhaps Mr. Gatlin or someone else? Correct, or anyone else, correct? And during this period of time, sometime during this period of time, you received some money, did you not, for Terry Crews? Guy's name is Terry White. They correct. She answers Terry White. Oh, White. I mean, I'm sorry. It was 50-something thousand dollars for that case. Does 55,000 sound about correct? Yeah, that sounds about correct. Okay, and that was for your assistance to Jack Harvey in the Terry White case? In the Terry White case? Well, that was, and I also contributed to my jewelry that was left in Terry White's house during the time they seized it, and I didn't get to obtain it, which was a Chapard bracelet and a Roberto coin piece. And those pieces of jewelry my husband bought for me before he passed away and was probably worth 30 or 40,000. So yes, I would say that. But at any rate, that was part of the proceedings. Yes, sir. Okay, from forfeiture? That is correct. And after you informed Agent Harvey about this relationship and how it had gone sour, did you then have any conversation with any other people from the DEA? Yes. So after Jack said, well, can I send anything? He said, can I say anything? He said, well, can I say anything? And I said, well, I don't want you to because I don't trust anybody within the government, he said. No, you can trust this person. I'm going to take and make a few phone calls. And I said, only if you really trust him, then I'll take your word. And then I received a call to meet Jack or Keith Cromer's boss at Atlanta Bread Company. And so I met Keith's boss and his boss's boss at the restaurant. And subsequently, you have been interviewed, is that correct, on a number of occasions? A number. Yes, I have. Right? She has been. That's why the damn agents was getting in her damn head. Trying to cool for her because they like, yo, you lying, miss. I'm trying to lie. What happened? Without going into details, yes, sir. A number of occasions. And has anyone bribed you or asked you not to testify or not to give information about Mr. Cromer at any time on the information that you had? No. Other than district attorneys that I met with from St. Louis prior to you, just asked me to hold off on my affidavit for blank. Well, we'll get to that later. Oh, okay. So no one has given me blank. You haven't been bribed or in any way, shape, form, or fashion provided any money to keep your mouth quiet or anything like that, right? No. Okay. So now let's talk about the filings that you were involved in. Okay. Did you become or you were aware of the indictment, correct? Yes. You went online, you say to Peso or whatever. Is that where you went online? The government website, peso.gov? That's where I went. It's a publication that you can get the indictment and whatever else is there, right? Yeah, you can. You can get the indictment. You can get whatever else is there. Yes, you pay a fee and you get it. And in March of 2018, no, 2015. Did you have a conversation to go online and find any pleadings by the defense in this case? Yes. All right. Do you remember what they were, or can you generally tell us what they were? It was just statements of a case, and it was from, I think, Cuff's lawyer, Deion Gatlin's lawyer, and it was exposing me and my employment at the time and her address. They blew her up and exposed her because she was a rat. They found out she was a rat and exposed her. And basically, and your name is in it? Yes. And your address is in it? Yes. And where were the emails or text messages that were also coming among it? Emails attached. There were emails attached as well. You indicated you were furious, yes. What did you do in retaliation to that? I reached out and called the agents, the DEA agents here in St. Louis. All right, let me back up and just ask you another question. Y'all get the likes up. Salute to everybody in the building. Y'all get the Lizzie's Izzy. Y'all get the Lizzie's Izzies. Y'all get the Lizzie's Izzies. Yeah, we got to break this down in the paper in the 30 board clips, and I got to walk my dog. Salute to y'all. I'm gonna go walk my dog. Come back in a second. This is part. I'm gonna clip these in clips because this is. I just read like 40 pages. It's 40. Real talk. So I got to walk my dog and feed her. That's it. And I'll be back. So make sure everybody here subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Everybody drop likes because this is what we're doing. I'm bringing this information so y'all can get to the crux of it. Salute to anybody. Salute to my girl, my homegirl that's dropped the Cash App in the Cash App. Salute to anybody that's leaving me super chats because I do get those too. Super chats and Cash Apps. I do get them. Fuck you mean. Fuck you mean. So salute to y'all. I love all of y'all. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my Comedy on Go. It's linked to my channel. Hit me on Instagram if you want any message. If you want to ask me any questions, hit me on there, okay? I will be going live as well on the King of NJ's channel as well. He want me to stop over there and bust a 1-2 words. So, you know, you can check me there too. So we cooking up, okay? Look at this, okay? Look at this. This is what we did. This not this. Look, I cut this off and didn't read this part. I could have read this to y'all and had y'all waiting forever to get to that. Look, I'm not a hater. Look, threw away this list. Look, I paid for that and threw it away. You know how much pages that I paid for? 25 cents a page, you know. Facts. For you, babies. For you. I love y'all all. To all my brothers and my sisters, I love y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm going to walk my dog, and when I come back, I'm going to be loading up another one, and I'm going to be getting into part 2, and we're going to continue from right where we left off, and I'll try to read like 50 pages that time, so we can start to knock this paperwork down. So I read 40 pages right there. I'll try to knock off another 50 at least when we do the next part, okay? So I will be back in a minute. Salute to all of y'all. I love y'all. Ooda, ooda, ooda. Make sure y'all hitting subscribe button, hitting the notify buttons, hit me on the gram, and everybody subscribe to my Comedy on Go. It's linked to my channel. Look at my bio. Look at the channel's link to my channel. Everybody subscribe to Comedy on Go. I'm reading this for y'all. That's all I ask you. Subscribe to Comedy on Go so I get my 50 people over there so I can start going live and start doing some other content over there. Start joking, start dropping links so we can start talking. Okay? Salute to y'all. Go to Don't Hide the Plug and get any of the dope hats I wear on my stream. Don't Hide the Plug. Shoot them a DM. Promo code is UDA. UDA is the promo code. Get your discount today. UDA, UDA, UDA. We always on go. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome to UDA on Go. You're welcome here. My home is your home. This is on Go. You are on Go. I am on Go. We tired of the bullshit. We tired of all that. We lifting our voices. We not going for it. And that's why we all on Go. The people in the chat are the Go gang. Make sure you're a part of the Go gang. Because we all on Go. And don't make us turn up on you, homeboy.